Pre-meeting of the Mobile City Council, Tuesday, January 23rd. We have approval of minutes from January 9th and 16th.
Any issues, anyone? Madam Clerk.
Appeals, we have requests for waiver of the noise ordinance on March the 7th from 7 p.m. until 10 p.m., March the 8th from 10 a.m. until 9 p.m., March 9th from 10 a.m. until 8:30 p.m., and March 10th from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m., all in Cathedral Square.
Councilman Carroll. Any issues?
March 8th. One of those,
I think this is festival hours.
yeah, or any of those days on a Sunday. But the reason why is because doing mass down there is always so much noise. Sometimes
No, this is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday on the 10th,
What's the end time on Sunday?
5 p.m.
Mass starts at 4. They ought to be out of there by 4 o'clock. It's not that bad. Okay, we good. Question. Did we ever take care of that parking issue at the square? Because this Saturday, there was no parking at all over there. And nobody was using the Sanger or anything. There were red bags all over the place.
I will follow up on that. Give me an answer why that happened. It should happen if there was nothing scheduled.
That's what I'm asking.
Okay.
Presentation of petitions and other communications to the council. Derek Boulware, providing information about the 10th annual point in time count and Project Homeless Connect hosted by Housing First.
Question. Have any of you, Jimmy, you've done point time, right? The count, where we go out and count the homeless? Yeah. Do any of you guys on the council want to do it one time so you can actually see what it's actually like out there?
I'm flexible.
Well, this is the event.
That's it.
You see, I thought I saw him come in today. Is this the actual count or is this the actual count, right?
Today is the point in time count.
Oh, it's today?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yeah.
And then,
This is the event out of the grounds.
And then the event will be Friday, Project Homeless Connect.
Yeah.
Yep.
Are you guys actually counting today? Have y'all started already?
We have, it'll go from this morning until probably 10 o'clock tonight. There are 38 teams that are put together to go across our 2 counties. And so Kendall Young, our outreach director, is organizing that.
Travis Castle, present a plan to handle poverty, public safety, and equality. CIP resolutions held over 21050, authorized contract with Dorsey & Dorsey Engineering for 2024 CIP resurfacing District 6 and 7. Resolutions held over 08051, approved purchase order to Buster Miles Ford for Ford Escape SUVs for community housing and development. 08052, approved purchase order to kitchen equipment and supply for serving glasses and dishwasher racks for convention center. 08053, approved purchase order to Shaw contract flooring services for 2 rakes and speed clean turf sweepers for Parks and Rec. 21054, authorized contract with Dominican Resources for review and consultation of city boards and commissions. 21055, authorized amendment to contract with Mott McDonald Architects for Africa Town Welcome Center. 21056, authorized contract with Michael Baker International for 2024 MS4 Stormwater Management Professional Services. 21057, authorized contract with AACRC for veterinarian services, supplies, and medicines for animal services. 21058, authorized contract for veterinary services with DVMIMS PC, business at Tillman's Corner Veterinary Hospital for veterinary services, supplies, medicines for animal services. 21059, authorized contract of industry services Company for fire training tower repairs. 21060, authorized contractor Kimley Horn and Associates for Western Bayfront resurfacing. 60061, authorized settlement agreement and release of claims. Consent resolutions being introduced, 58063 and 064, declaring weeds noxious and authorizing removal of weeds groups 1652 and 1651. 60065 and 066 are determining appropriation to Housing First, Inc. and Hillsdale Heights Homeowners Association, Inc. serve for public purpose and approving payment. CIP resolutions being introduced, 08067, authorized purchase order to Game Time for playground equipment for Mill Street Park, $166,874.31.
Mr. President,
Mr. Penn,
thank you, Mr. President. Is this the playground that we went over at Mill Street? That's it. Okay, all right, thank you.
Resolutions being introduced, 01068, authorized amendment to agreement with Lineage Logistics LLC.
What's this?
It's an assignment. Jay Watkins is here to answer any questions.
What is it? What assignment is it?
Good morning. Back in 2018, the city and the county entered into a project agreement with MTC Logistics that built the cold storage facility there near the container port. In 2021, that project agreement was assigned as part of a sale of that facility to Lineage Logistics. Lineage Logistics, as part of that purchase, has got several different entities under their umbrella. One houses their employees, one is their real estate, one is their equipment. And so what we're here today is asking for the project agreement to be amended to allow those three new entities to be parties to the project agreement so that they can properly report to the county and to the state in connection with their incentive packages under the project agreement.
Or was the project agreement in notice?
Was the project agreement, I'm sorry, sir?
No. The reason why I don't, the reason why I don't know what's going on because none of this was in notice. That's why I'm asking. So the project, what was the project? What's the project?
The project was to do tax abatements on the real estate piece and the sales and use tax when the facility was built in 2018. The project agreement also provided for site work improvements that the county and the city partnered on to improve Yean Street and put in some drainage improvements. All of that was completed in 2021. The funds were released by the city and the county. So all funds, all monies have been allocated and paid. And the only thing that's left under this agreement now is the reporting every year to the state with respect to the job count and to the county with respect to the ad valorem tax abatements. So there's no change in the agreement. There's no new money. There's no ask other than to align the parties under the project agreement since the transaction.
This was a cold company?
This was a cold storage facility, the freezer facility there at the cold storage. Yes, sir.
all right, thank you.
01069, authorized agreement with Jonathan Ames to provide racket stringer services. 01070, authorized agreement with Tahir Elzar to provide tennis lessons. 08071, approved item base bid for nitrile gloves. 08072, approved purchase order to Deere and Company for 8 John Deere mowers and a utility tractor for Parks and Recreation Department, $207,417.59. 09073, allocate funds from unassigned fund balance in the general fund to capital project West Mobile County Park.
Which park is it?
West Mobile County Park is newly annexed into the city.
So in District 6?
21074, authorized contract amendment with EMS Management and Consultants for billing support services. 21075, authorized contract with Ketom Construction, doing business Southern Preservation Systems for emergency repair and remediation of brick wall at the Civic Center, $286,804.
I had a quick conversation this morning with David about this. This is under new stuff, right? I'd like to have a conversation with whoever's in that department now, and the inspector and Beaufort. I mean, if we're not voting on it today, it's held over a week, right?
Mhm.
Yes. I'd like to have a discussion with them before 10:30.
Okay, 21075.
Yes, talking about $280,000 for the $286,804 for brick repair or little repair on the brick in the city.
So that's, that brick facade is in danger. That brick facade is in danger of failure. Okay, so Nick Amberger went out yesterday, and there's also a chimney that's separated from the wall of the theater. This is on the top 12 foot of the brick on the east side of the theater, and maybe the top 12 foot on the south side of the theater. The metal that attaches it to the concrete wall or the concrete block has all deteriorated,
The limits.
and the lintels have too. They've all deteriorated.
So
So
you're saying that, Nick's not here, so
Nick-
are you saying brick ties that anchor brick to the wall are gone?
that's right,
How did y'all evaluate that when you can't see them?
GMC.
Well, you can see from the, I mean, climbed up there yesterday and took a look at it. You definitely can see a little bit of buckling. You can see that the little angles they're just completely gone, completely deteriorated. So in all likelihood, the brick ties back behind there are gone as well. I mean, it's, and you can see some structural cracks not structural cracks, but cosmetic cracks on the corners where those bricks have started
Are they mortar
moving.
joints or are they in the brick?
A little bit of both, And then what's concerning is there is appears to be not in use, but there is a flue that runs up, basically a chimney that is starting to separate from
Yeah,
the
I went
building.
out there yesterday, and I couldn't see anything from the ground.
Yeah, this is all up top. Yeah.
So the fall perimeter, though, it's a 30-foot fall perimeter, right?
We put a perimeter around the piece on the east side, and on the west side, they were still securing more barricades to do the same thing.
Because I just told David, George, I didn't see any out there yesterday.
Yep.
There's a reason why I'm asking this, and the question is why I don't want to ask it right here. I want to ask it off record in between this meeting and another.
Okay.
I mean, it has to do with good money after bad.
Okay, but I do think with the possibility of a failure in Mardi Gras that we ought to go ahead and take this
So
up.
we're going to do something one way or the other. But based on other knowledge, which one is more feasible is what I'm asking. Let me ask you after this. please.
Okay.
Mr. President,
Mr. Reynolds.
does anybody know how long it's going to take for them to get this done?
Yeah.
When can they start?
If y'all award it, they should start in a week. It will take about 5 weeks. They're required to pallet all the bricks.
The hazard will be removed in how long?
The hazard-
Not the permanent, texture or whatever, but how long will it take them to remove the hazard?
About 3.5 weeks to remove it and palletize it, and then you've got another week and a half of weatherproofing of the concrete block so that we protect the structure.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else?
21076, authorized contract with Whittier Surveying for surveying services for Public Safety Training Center, $24,000. 21077, authorized contract with James B. Donaghy for cooling tower replacement for the Museum of Art, $480,000.
Mr. President,
Mr. Reynolds.
this one, I thought we just replaced these cooling towers out at Mobile Museum of Art. It was on our agenda, I don't know, not that long ago. So why are we doing it again, or am I wrong?
No, the most recent work out there was chiller replacement.
Okay. I guess I don't know the difference between a cooling tower and a chiller.
Me either.
But this is actually these are the cooling towers, not the chillers. We replaced 2 chillers, and these are the cooling towers that are actually outside.
Okay.
21078, authorized contract with McLean Construction Company for annual storm drain maintenance, $906,795.21.
Ms. Reynolds.
On this one, it looked like this was just I didn't see like a scope of work. Is that correct? Nick? On the, I'm sorry, I may be wrong. Oh yeah, the annual storm drain maintenance. I didn't see like a scope of work. I just saw like unit pricing. Is that correct for this?
That's correct. Yeah, what we're trying to do. What we're trying to do with this is have something that allows us to deal with the pop-ups. We've got a couple of known locations where we got one out at University in Old Shell we're planning to address that Public Works has been managing, for probably the better part of 3 or 4 months. We also want to try to attack some of this on Government Street, where we have the constant flooding and the rain events on the outside lanes. So this is primarily a pipe cleaning and pipe lining, to where they can do a little bit more aggressive cleaning of the pipes as opposed to what we can do with our equipment. And then again, to deal with pop-up drainage issues.
Okay, thank you.
25079, grant permanent utility easement to Mobile Area Water and Sewer System for Mobile Civic Center. Call for public hearings, 41080, call for public hearing to consider modification of a previously approved plan unit development for property located at 5041 Range Line Crossing Drive, scheduled February 14th. 41081, call for public hearing to consider modification of a previously approved plan unit development for property located at 3220 Airport Boulevard, scheduled February 14th. Announcement.
Mr. President.
Ms. Reynolds.
Matt, if you could, on the Minikin contract, I think in your email to us, you referenced that there was a spreadsheet, maybe some other materials that were gathered throughout the first contract. Can you get those over to us today?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do that.
Perfect. Thank you.
Mr. Days.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. I was dismayed to read last week that Visit Mobile had paid almost $30,000 for hotel rooms at both the Mobile Marriott and the Airport Boulevard, on Airport Boulevard and the Holiday Inn Tillman's Corner for the HBCU Pigskin Showdown on December 30th. I had previously started thinking about these football games that we're sponsoring in part. And there are now 4 football games that we provide significant financial resources to. Senior Bowl, 68 Ventures Bowl, the HBCU Gulf Coast Challenge, and the Port City Classic. And I think before we get to budget time, it would be a good idea for us to have a better idea of what we're getting back for the almost $2 million we're putting into these football games. And so I'm going to do some work on that. As a first step, I'd appreciate getting the performance contracts that we have with the promoters of these 4 football. I assume we have performance contracts with them, right? Yeah, if you could just get that to me. Thank you very much.
Mr. President.
Yeah, I don't believe that the city has sponsored the Pigskin game. Yeah.
No, it did, but but we provide significant financial resources to Visit Mobile. And some of those financial resources were utilized to pay for these hotels.
Yeah, I think that some of those were.
I'm not, and let me be clear. I'm not criticizing Mr. Clark and Visit Mobile for doing that. It's just a part of the overall scrutiny I think we need to give. And I'm not against the 4 football games necessarily. I just think we need to have, before we go around spending $2 million on 4 football games, we need to know more about what we're getting back and not just estimates of economic impact.
Yes, sir, Mr. President.
Ms. Reynolds.
It was for the Pigskin Classic, is that what it's called? Which I saw some reports that the attendance of it was very poor. It was way down.
300 or something.
300 something, 500 people. And, when you're talking about spending that kind of money, it's hard to realize a return on 300 or 500 people for, paying for the hotel rooms and stuff. So I agree with Mr. Daves that we probably ought to evaluate those sort of things and maybe have further discussion. Maybe David did explain it to us why they felt it necessary at Visit Mobile to spend that sort of money. But it's hard for me to make the connection in my mind, why we would do such a thing.
Anything else from the council? Anything from administration?
Mr. President,
Mr. Penn, Ms. Gregory.
just to get clarity, the 08067 with Mill Street, after approved, how long would it take for the playground to be installed? Do we have an estimate date? All right, thank you.
Not yet.
Ms. Gregory.
Yeah, I just want to remind you all that we've got a Public Safety Committee meeting following the council meeting today. I think we said 1:00. We've got 3 invited guests who are set to come today to provide us with more information. These are Andy Gatewood from the public school system, Joshua Jones with the City Youth Violence Prevention Coordinator, and Curtis Graves, also with the City Commander of Strategic Initiatives, to talk about their programs. For those of you who attended the Peace Forum, a couple of things came up that we wanted more information on. So I thought starting today, we would take these a bit at a time and see what programs are working and try to get some reliable statistics to show as we go forward. Joshua has something called the Baltimore model, I think is what he called it, that he is trying to implement here. Of course, he's just getting started, and in Baltimore, they've been doing this for some time. So these are a couple of programs that we wanted more information on. So today's meeting will be informational based for us to, talk with these speakers and get more details from what they gave us at the Peace Forum, because they had, 5 minutes, Corey,
That's correct.
to talk. And so we couldn't really get a lot of details. So that's what we're doing today. This is not being planned as some big town hall meeting where we're going to have speakers come in and talk to us again about their programs. We are limiting it to just these programs today to get more detailed information as we try to go forth and implement some kind of a plan that we can all agree to, that we feel like will make a difference.
Ms. Woods.
So 2 things, Mr. President. One is 09073, that project for West Mobile County Park. There's a corresponding intergovernmental agreement that the county's already passed. Asked for 3 concurring votes to add that on from the council. Just add it to the agenda because it's been waiting for quite some time. And we have the paperwork ready. We submitted it, but it's just on hold right now.
It'd have to be added.
Yeah, it has to be added.
Oh,
It's associated with that.
okay.
Okay. And Lana has the documents. And then the second part is I'm going to ask the council to go into executive session for a matter dealing with litigation. And I'll give the declaration now. My name is Ricardo Woods. I'm the city attorney. I'm licensed to practice law in the state of Alabama. I have a matter that we need to discuss that involves pending and or likely litigation before the council. How to ask the council to give a roll call vote and us to reconvene at the 10:30 meeting.
Probably moving second in discussion. All right, Madam Clerk.
President Small,
Yes.
Vice President Gregory,
Yes.
Councilmember Penn,
Yes.
Councilmember Carroll,
Yes.
Councilmember Reynolds.
Yes.
Councilmember Daves.
Yes.
Councilmember Woods.
Yes.
We see each other at 10:30.
What is the same promoters